This is Bethany. Welcome to the Birth and Body podcast. We're so excited that you're here listening or viewing the show. I'm super excited about our guest, Dezeree, today. She is a past client of mine, and she's had some really awesome births. She's gone from hospital to birth center and then finally having a home birth with my practice. So welcome to the show,
Thank
Dezeree.
you.
I'm so glad you're here.
I'm so glad to be here.
I'm super excited about it, and I just love your story. So what, maybe just to get started, I know you're mom of 4, wife to Aaron for 7 years, and teacher. So tell us a little bit how you, maybe just start with your first birth, kind of how that went and transition to finally natural water birth at home. Yeah.
Okay, so my first daughter, I had her at a hospital.
Yeah.
And I had a friend who kind of, was telling me about the natural birth route, but I was totally not ready. I was just kind of, first time mom, so I was pretty nervous and just wanted to see just wanted to go about it like the natural way as far as going to the hospital and just that route.
Yeah, more typical.
Typical. Yeah, typical, not natural, but typical.
Yeah.
And then with my second daughter, that's when I decided that I was going to have the natural way. And what happened with her, I was numb through my legs for like 8 hours, and the epidural was kind of crazy, and I decided then like the next birth that I had would be with no epidural.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So did your epidural not work with her, or
Yeah, I mean it worked, but I don't know if he placed it in the wrong place or what happened with that. Yeah.
Okay. That's so hard.
Yeah.
To think you're going in for one thing and then it doesn't.
Right.
How did that go? Like, did you feel prepared for a natural birth? So you had like other coping techniques, or what worked for you when it wasn't quite like, the ideal pain management?
Right. It was more so like him actually putting the epidural in my back.
Okay.
So it wasn't like the pain per se as far as contractions go. It was him actually entering in the epidural, which was the painful part. And then just being numb for a long amount of time was just not having that control over my legs and body was just, it was too much for me. So.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Because it doesn't take away all of the discomfort. Like, sometimes the numb, being out of control can be the uncomfortable part.
Right. And stressful and very concerning.
That's true. Yeah. Anxiety in other ways.
Right. So, and then, so after that, I had my third child, and I had her at a birthing center in a tub.
Yeah.
And, I was 9 centimeters when I got there. So as soon as I got in the tub, I was pushing her out. And so, but for that process, I kept telling myself, I knew I was going to have that natural birth. And so I was telling myself throughout the months, that I could do it, and just kind of affirmations, reminding myself, that my body was made for this. And so I can do it. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Awesome. And then finally, for the water birth, coming to you made everything so easy. So just walking this journey with you, and you helping me along the way helped tremendously. Yeah. And then, because the at home water birth is completely different too. We're not in the center, we're not in the hospital.
Sure.
And so just you being just graceful and gentle and so knowledgeable, just really put me at ease and calm and being able to just be confident that I can do it.
Yeah, so, totally. Yeah. So I know, I think you started with me pretty, like first trimester, pretty typical with Aaron Jr., first boy after 3 girls. What things did you do in his pregnancy to prepare for your natural birth at home, or especially things that you felt like helped?
Yeah, I know getting some chiropractic work helped me.
Yeah.
And then
I remember you had that hard sciatica stuff. It was really hard.
Gosh, it was horrible.
Yeah.
It was awful. But the chiropractic work. And then also a lot of prayer and just really just focusing on knowing that I'm equipped and able to give birth to this baby, And so I also read a book that helped me as well, called Supernatural Childbirth. And so, all of those things really just help me in the entire process.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you feel like, well, from just knowing you and walking with you through his pregnancy and birth, I really felt like you prepared so well, like spiritually and emotionally, while, physically too. Mm-hmm. How would you recommend even going about that for someone who might not know even where to start? Maybe they haven't thought about pregnancy or birth even being a spiritual experience. They just think of it as this physical thing. I just have to hold on and get through it. Yeah. And they don't, integrate that part of them as much.
Yeah. I would just, recommend just, for me, what I did specifically was just getting scriptures in the Bible that I could hold on to, and just meditating on that. And then also just the book that I read, Supernatural Childbirth, just reading that book. For me, originally, I'm like, Lord, I just want a pain-free labor and deliver, but and easy and quick. Well, I didn't get the pain-free, but that's okay, because even in that process, he was good. And, I was able to just be at peace and just know that his presence was with me throughout the entire thing. Totally, yeah. And so, even in the birthing pool, I was just able to rest in his presence, and know that he was going to see me through it. He was going to see Aaron through it, and that it would be well. Sure. All would be well. Yeah. So,
totally.
Yeah. Hope it makes sense.
Totally. Yeah. No, that's really helpful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like being intentional about that during pregnancy, just holding on to certain things.
Yeah. Yeah.
How was it? I know we stayed in touch like I do with all my clients as they go into labor. And I remember when I can't remember if it was you or Aaron that called me and was like, okay, time for you to come. I'm like, okay, we'll be there. And one of my assistants drove with me, so it was great. We got there at the same time. And then Kim came, a little later. So there was 3 of us. And I just remember getting there and you were just sitting on your couch doing your contractions. I was like, is she even in labor? Because you were so calm. And if I really looked at you, I was like, okay, that was a contraction. But I really had to pay attention. So we, just kind of got the birth tub ready and, and just observed. But you were just very centered, I felt like. And it was, we had worship music playing. It was so sweet and calm for everybody.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So it was such good memories. Looking back on it. So how, it might sound maybe like a detailed question or basic, but especially for moms that haven't had a natural birth before and are preparing for one, how did you do those contractions?
Well,
just dealing with those waves and, staying calm.
Honestly, it all ties back just to my relationship with Christ, and just really just in those hard, I just look at it kind of like I look at life, in those hard times, in those physical painful moments, I'm like, you're with me. You're with me. Totally. And so I'm telling myself that, in that process of this hard contraction, and honestly, though, this time around, I did have it a little bit easier. It was hard. Yeah. And so, I know everybody's experience is different.
Sure.
But the hardest it got was when I was actually in the tub about to push him out. That was the hardest. And so in that time, I just had to kind of imagine yourself just kind of laying back and just surrendering just what you're doing and just totally just being at rest.
Yeah.
I really had to do that so that I could just stay calm and focused and just remain healthy and stress-free for me, and then healthy and stress-free for the baby.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Totally.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Just reminding, like, you're in the Lord's presence.
Yes.
And it's all
he
fine.
has me covered. You know, he has me covered.
Yeah.
He has, and, you know, just also, I believe that my trust in you as well.
Sure.
Being at ease and at trust with you, you know, it all, and having people there that I wanted there, you know, they were praying, and I was praying too. Yeah. So throughout contractions, I was praying as well. So, you know, all of that I feel like played a big part in my delivery this go around.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true. Like not having to worry about who's there, who's not there, or are they going to do something, or I didn't want that, or hey, I got to tell them I want delayed cord clamping, or this is my birth plan, please don't.
Yes.
Whatever.
Yes.
That's true. You don't have to worry about all of it.
Yeah, it makes a big difference.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah. Yeah, so.
Oh. So, that was your first water birth. So, thoughts on that?
So, second water birth.
That's
the first
right.
home birth.
That's right.
Yeah, first home birth.
So, as you compare, even just contractions in and outside of the tub, would you do water birth again?
I would.
Okay.
I feel like it made the contractions a little bit more bearable, if you will.
Sure.
And I don't know what the water does, if it like balances you, or I don't know, but I just felt like when I got in and was just kind of settled there, it just made it more bearable for me.
Sure.
You know? So, and the pains. So
okay. Yeah, something about maybe being buoyant and just a little more weightless.
Yeah.
It's easier to get in other positions too, I think.
Yeah.
And your house, I feel like, was perfect. Like there was plenty of room to set up the tub and stuff, which was really nice.
Yeah. It was good.
Yeah. It's so awesome. So once he was born, you know, smooth.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I meant to look back at your chart, but I feel like you pushed twice, maybe.
I think it was like 2 or 3 times, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Was that quicker than with your girls?
Yes.
Okay.
It was. His entire labor and delivery process was the fastest.
Isn't that interesting?
It is. It really is.
I wonder if just not having to go anywhere, like being able to be perfectly relaxed and not worry about, okay, gotta get in the car, gotta go, you know.
That makes a lot of sense, you know, because with my, even going to the birthing center with my last daughter, you know, having to have a bag packed and like it was in the middle of the night. And so waking up my husband and he's moving slow and, you know, so those are like stress factors because I'm like, let's go. But I mean, I think that makes you make a good point on that because I mean, everything was just, the only stressful part was I didn't know if I was like in labor or not. I couldn't tell.
Sure.
I was like, I think it's time, but I don't know. And, you know, so that was the only thing. But other than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When do you feel like you're like, okay, I know I'm in labor now? Do you remember what time?
Well, the only reason why I figured I could be is because the contractions got a little bit more consistent.
Okay.
So I was having them, but they were inconsistent. Yeah. And so I wasn't able to tell if I was like in labor or not.
Sure.
But when I kept feeling them a little bit closer together,
I
was like, okay, I think this could be it.
Yeah.
No, and I was like, I don't want to call you, and it's not it. And you're so gracious. You're like, it doesn't matter. And I'm like, it does matter. I don't want you to come out here.
Sure.
And I'm not in labor. So.
Sure.
But when it got more consistent and when they got more just closer together, I think I was just kind of like, okay, this is time.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Because I remember when you were so calm. I feel like they were every 3 minutes when we got to you.
Yeah.
But I'm like, no, you're really in labor. This is not just a stomach bug or something. You're definitely having a baby. It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So once he came out, I remember, anything you would want to share about after that? Like just the postpartum. I know we talk about birth so much, but postpartum can be unique and hard and, you know, different for everybody.
Absolutely. Well, I think It was really a good transition, and just like even after having him,
Sure.
just the care that you all gave him and myself. I remember it was a time where I was kind of getting dizzy, and y'all were on it. Y'all were like, nope, 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 let's go sit down. Let's, just the procedure things. And so, just the care that you guys gave after I had him, even with, the checkups and, just checking his weight and just trying different things. That's the one of many things that I love about you and just your practice is that, you're super knowledgeable. And so you're going to, if you see something that's off or not right, it's not like a big alarming thing, but
Sure.
you're kind of gentle in saying, hey, let's try this,
Sure.
let's try that,
Yeah.
and then another thing that I love about you
Aw.
is that, everything that you suggested, was all herbal or natural, and so it wasn't necessarily over the counter type things, and so I just really appreciated that because that's what I was looking for,
Sure.
and wanted to find out more, find more about, and you had all of that covered.
That's awesome.
So, it was all a breeze, and that's just, I was grateful. Aaron was grateful for just the breeze and just the ease that we had before, during, and after. So
I'm so glad
yeah,
that it was smooth. Yeah, it really was. It was a beautiful birth.
yeah.
Any, I know, so like usually we get people out, out of the tub once baby comes out, transitioned well, for the placenta. So just so that once the placenta releases, usually you start bleeding a little bit and then we can estimate the blood loss a little faster or easier than when it's not diluted in the tub.
Yeah.
So how is that for you, like compared to, again, I know we don't talk about it very much because we're so focused on having the baby and natural birth in the hospital and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But how was that right after, like compared to your other births?
Well, it was different for me because I had never, I always remember pushing the placenta out, but I never just remember seeing it or even anyone even asking me if I wanted to keep it or anything like that.
Sure. Yeah.
So it was different for me, but in the moment I was just like, this is kind of painful, get this out. And I'm just like, and I was super tired too, So at that point, after you have the baby, you could be super tired. And so you're just kind of like, give me the baby, let me rest.
Yeah.
And so you guys are super great about that. So yeah. But it was different for me because I never experienced anything, like the sort. So
yeah. I know. It was funny just getting out of the tub and having the placenta right there, a little faster. But when it's ready to come, it's ready to come. Standing up, having the placenta, it worked.
My husband wasn't too, well, he didn't show it, but on the inside, I know he wasn't too thrilled about it, getting everywhere. But y'all were on it, so.
Yes, I know. I remember him saying that now, being worried about it. But I remember I was like, nope, y'all get in bed, bond, breastfeed, and then the tub was, kind of set up in your living room. So we just took everything down. And I think sometimes when dads are in their own environment, they're like, okay, got to do this, got to do that. I'm like, no, we'll take care of it. You rest with her. Like, what do you want to eat? Like, it was so nice having your mom there because she was making food and stuff. But, if they don't have someone, specifically do that for them, we'll usually do that too. So
that's so nice.
Yeah, well, you have to eat after you have a baby. You just work so hard.
That's true.
Yeah. How were your girls with just welcoming another baby?
Oh my goodness. They were just so in love with him. They were like, and just wanted to hold him and just pick him up. And they were, I was pretty concerned about, especially my youngest one, because she was a little rough sometimes. But, they loved on him so much, But something that I've done for all of them, I don't know, I've just always done this, is I always just include them in the pregnancy.
Yeah.
So I'm just including them and just even getting them excited about being a big sister. And, they're just anticipating when the baby comes. And so that was just really sweet. When they came, my mom and dad took them for a couple of days, and then they came back.
Yeah.
And they got to meet him then. And they were just in love with him, and still are. I'm like, y'all move, please. Let him breathe.
Right. Right. That's awesome.
Yeah. But they're super loving.
That's awesome. I know we talk about that a lot in prenatal sometimes, just preparing next baby for this new baby. And a lot of parents are really worried about it, just that transition going well. So that's a good idea.
Yeah. I mean, I think that helps a lot, just including them, so they can feel like they are a part of just the entire thing, and so that, because my biggest thing is I didn't want, any kind of sibling rivalry or anything like that. I just wanted them to be loving. And I think that was a big piece in helping them to do that and be that way. And so they just love them.
That's awesome. Did it help having them come to prenatal sometimes?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I think for my oldest, I think she just really, she understands more, of course, because she's older, but she's just super excited and was always like inquisitive and asking just different questions. And so I was able to answer those questions and just, kind of get her mind going on it. So I think so. I think so.
That's awesome. Well, I usually ask this at the end for maybe a first-time mom or anyone planning their first natural birth. Anything you would really recommend they do, or tips for them?
What I would recommend is for, you to just really grab hold to a scripture or to a verse or just an encouraging word that will kind of help you, in those harder times, and then also just knowing that your body is made to do this. Like, we're made and we're capable and able to, give birth. With Junie, that's my son, I didn't, it wasn't the easiest road because we had some hiccups,
Sure, yeah.
I had to go to the ER once. And
at the end, you had to work so hard with some supplements and stuff.
Right.
With some elevated liver enzymes. And
that's
right.
Yeah. It wasn't like a smooth sailing, thing. But I'm grateful because just my faith, and then also partner with you and just giving me just tips and just kind of we having a good team or just a good partnership, and we're able to, just go forward and checking back in, like that helped a lot because you were, super calm when I'm up here, oh my gosh, what's happening, but you remain calm. And so that kind of helped brought me down. And then also just the supplements and just you being so knowledgeable, it wasn't like okay, we're going to give up, or you're going to have to go to the hospital now because I'm not going to be able to. But you're like, okay, hey, let's try this. Let's try that, And just, just giving me different options. So I think what I'm trying to say is if you have a person, if you have Bethany,
you're so sweet.
And I truly believe just your faith in Christ, and just knowing that you are able and capable to have this baby. I think that through the ups and the downs, you're going to be just solid and just even at peace, knowing that you're capable, you're able, you can do this.
Totally.
You can totally do this.
Right.
If I can do it, you can do it.
Yes, totally. It's so helpful to know and hear other stories of women doing it. You really, because it's not common in our culture, I think.
It's not. It's really not.
You're told you can't, or you have to get an epidural.
Right. And that's what I love too, is that, just coming to you, it's not a thing of, you never... Unless it was extremely important and I wasn't really listening. You've never said, hey, you have to do this, you have to do that. It was a conversation. It was a partnership. And you allowed that space in that room for me to kind of make the decisions. And if, like I said, if your expertise or if your just knowledge of something just needed to be, if you need to say something, you said it. And I really, really, really appreciate and enjoy that. throughout
good.
this whole process,
Good.
because it really just helped, it really helped. And I think that's the major key is just having someone who, you can partner with and that will just really kind of help you along the way, along the journey. So
just empowerment.
Yeah.
That's true. Because I think everyone's so different, but I think a lot of care providers do just tell their patients, this is what you need to do and send you on your way. And I found that it's easy to look at a situation and think, well, this is what you need to do. But sort of the problem solving for the nuance of the situation is different for every family.
Yeah.
It's not going to always work for families to eat a certain way or take this supplement or spend this much money or go see this chiropractor or whatever. Right. Sometimes you have to say okay, these different things would get you to this goal. So look at these options and see what's going to work for you to get there. Because it's so individual. It's different for everybody.
It is. But I mean, I'm telling you, just having you there and just having just my faith and just being, and another thing is trusting. I trusted that you were going to just help me through the whole process. It wasn't it wasn't any doubt in my mind. I knew you had my back.
Yeah. I don't know about this chick, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, it doesn't work like that.
It was, and you can't really, just have the time or just the experience that you want if you're kind of in a mistrust relationship with anybody.
That's true.
And
that's true. That's such a good point because people think it's different with their care provider, but it's not. If you don't like them or you're not sure about them, find someone else.
Right.
Because you wouldn't do that with someone you're planning to have a baby with. Yeah. Why would you do it when you're trusting someone with your life and your baby's life?
Seriously,
That's true.
And just, like I said, with just you being so knowledgeable and explaining and sharing with me and just, I felt included.
Good.
I felt included and I felt like, I had a say in having the baby, having my baby. And so, and empowered, like you said, too, because of the wealth of knowledge that you have.
Yeah.
So that I feel like was just, and then on another hand, too, not only did I feel, I trust you, but Aaron did too.
Yeah.
Because when you recommended a supplement or when you recommended something just to help the baby, honestly, in the past, he would be like, I don't know, we're not doing that. But honestly, I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
But he trusted you enough to say, okay, let's go get that.
Yeah.
Let's go do that. Yeah. You need to go do this. Okay, go do that.
Right.
Without any kind of, backlash.
Yeah.
So I think that's a major key is trust, and with the family, my husband and I, we're both on the same page and we both trust you and that just makes it just better experience.
Yeah, because it is, the whole family welcoming the baby. So having a good relationship with everybody is so important.
Yeah, absolutely. You're awesome.
I just love you. Thank you for being on the show and sharing your story.
No problem.
And yeah, I miss you guys.
I miss you too.
We're going to have a picnic or something after.
I agree.
With all the families after all this is over.
Agree.
So
on a lake or something. I don't know, but
that sounds great.
Yeah.
Well, good. Well, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Okay.
And for what you do.
Thank you. Let us know what you want to hear about, and if you've made it all the way to the end, please leave us a review. We would so appreciate that. Share about it. You can find more updates and things like that on my Instagram or Facebook. It's at Bethany Stricker Midwifery on Instagram, Bethany Stricker Midwifery Care on Facebook, and then just BethanyStricker.com for website stuff. And make sure you subscribe on Spotify or Apple so you can get notifications for further podcasts. Thanks for listening. Bye. And we'll probably have you back to talk about more things
Okay.
if you're up for it. kind of a puzzle, kind of like labor sometimes.
Yeah. And it was also very humbling. This is the population that I want to serve. And so I had that practice for 3 years, and I got back into doula work because I started having my practice members.
Hey, I'm Bethany Stricker. I'm a licensed midwife and attend home and birth center births in the Dallas-Fort Worth area of Texas. And I'm super excited that we're starting a podcast called the Birth and Body Podcast. I've wanted to start one for a while because I found in my practice that so many of my clients had such powerful stories that just weren't really being told. And it's empowering for them to tell their stories, but for other women to also see what their options are too. I also found that maybe the goal of having a home or birth center birth is kind of confusing how to get there. So I really hope that this podcast addresses how to meet that goal, how to make it easier, how to have an easier pregnancy, and then just hear other women's stories about what made it easier for them to get there. So I hope you'll listen. It's hoping to come out this month or in July of 2020, and you can find it on iTunes, Spotify, all that. So stay tuned and follow along on social media if you're not already.